Hello, fellow duelists. This is Shadow of the Moon, and today I'm going to be showing you an updated deck profile of my Speedroid deck for January of 2023. So, this deck has been changed a little bit. Speedroids obviously haven't had much support coming out, but I did do the best I can to kind of update it a little bit, make it a little bit more consistent, and did add some things in here that, I think you'll enjoy. Also, if you've noticed, there is no Baron LaFleur in here. I took that out and actually put that in my Infernity deck because it works a lot better in here. So I'm using the Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon monster in here. It's pretty much the same exact thing. The only difference is you do have to have Clear Crystal Wing Synchro the Clear Synchro Dragon or whatever it is to be able to use it. But that's fine. I don't mind using that because it works just as well. It has the same effect and everything, so it's really good. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you for watching my channel and watching these videos. You guys rock. Thank you so much. And I've been enjoying pumping out these deck profiles and just showing you different decks that I have and other ways that you can play it that may be a little bit more budget friendly and also something that isn't going to break your wallet or anything. But I mean, here we go without the deck. Let's go to the deck profile. So first, you got 3 copies of Speedroid Marble Machine. This acts as basically a another way of having Terror Top because Terror Top is only limited to 1 in the format. Very good card in my opinion because it allows you to add a monster and to be able to actually use it, and it's a very good card in my opinion. And then you have Speedroid Takatamborg. This is a great card in here. That's why I'm running 3 of these bad boys in here, because if you control one monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and also works very well because you tribute it to be able to add a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand, or special summon a Speedroid monster, from the deck. So obviously you're going to go for Red Eye Die. That's the main card in this deck is Red Eye Die because that's going to let you basically go into all your crazy combos. And then we've got 3 copies of Speedroid Card Turbo. If you control a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, it makes it to where it does lock you into 1 monsters, but everything in the extra deck is a 1 monster anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then 2 copies of Speedroid Den Daikoduke. Den Daikoduke is a great card to be able to, because your main object is you want to be able to put it into the graveyard, and it is another Speedroid monster, very useful in this deck in my opinion. And I'm running 2. Most builds you can see they may only run 1. I like having 2 in case you draw, because you do need it. You want to be able to get it. And then 1 copy of Speedroid Fuji Madochi Piper. So this guy is really good because you want to put him in the graveyard, because you banish him to special summon a Speedroid monster basically from your graveyard, and then also you excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of win monsters that you have onto the field, and you can add those cards to your hand. And then we have 1 copy of Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. This is the new card on the field. So when this card is normal summoned, you can target a level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard and special summon it. This is a great way to get another level 3 or lower Speedroid monster, special summon it, and add another monster to the field, because you're basically synchro climbing with this deck. And then 1 copy of Red Eye Die. This is the best card because it is not once per turn, and it constantly is changing its level of the monster on the field, making it to where, you're going to be constantly synchro climbing. You go into 3, 5, 7, it's an amazing card, but it's best to usually have that at 1. And then sadly, 1 copy of your Speedroid Terror Top. Terror Top is a really good card and the best Speedroid in my opinion, because it just, between this and this right here, basically lets you go into full combo and lets you go into this guy incredibly easily. All right, so now we're going to be going for some non-Speedroid. That's going to be surprising. 3 copies of Wind Witch Ice Bell. This is a great way to add a Wind Witch from your deck to your hand as special summon. This is a great card in my opinion, because this is a great, you're constantly pumping out wind monsters. You want to be able to have this because this works so well with it. And then we're going to be playing 1 copy of Wind Witch Glass Bell and 1 copy of Wind Witch Snowbell. So that's going to round out the Wind Witch engine. And if you want to give it a try, it actually works very well with this deck because it is a wind deck, obviously. And a lot of wind decks, well, most of them are in tandem. They're consistent, as in most of them work with each other. A lot of the archetypes do. And then you have Wind Channeler. This was replaced with Speedroid Scratch, because this is a discard. This special summons a level 5, actually works a lot better and is another way to get it on the field. And then 2 copies of Speedroid Hasty Horse. I added this back to the deck because this allows you to, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card to a point zone that has no, that has no monsters in it or whatever. And this works really well because it is a level 5, helps you with synchro climbing, and all in all, it's a very good card. I actually think it's just as good as the Griffin Rider, if not better. And then obviously 3 copies of your Effect Failure. This is going to be your hand trap. And then 2 copies of your Ghost Ogre to round it out. This is going to be your hand traps for the format for this deck. If you want to replace it with Ash, you want to replace it with Droll and Lockbird or whatever, you want to replace it with whatever you want, that is totally up to you. And then that rounds up the main monsters. Let's move on to the spells. Then we have Speedroid Recovery. You got 3 of those. Speedroid Wheel. You got 3 of these. And since you aren't playing Bestials, you've got 1 Call by the Grave. And then lastly, you've got, and I took out Speedroid Duplication and replaced them with Goes in Match because you're going to be going into Attribute. And this whole deck is about attributes. So if you're playing a win deck, mix it to where they cannot only have one monster on the field at the same time. So it works very well with the deck. And it actually can kind of stall people who swarm. So that's going to be it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So obviously you have Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. You've got Virtual World Kyubi Shenshen. High Speedroid Kite Drake. 2 copies of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Easy to bring these guys out on the field. And if you have the Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, you have to have the Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, obviously, in the format. Then Wing Pegasus Ignister. This is a great interrupt. You have 1 copy of Virtual World Beast Jiju. This is a target. 1 copy of Stardust Charge Warrior. 1 copy of High Speedroid Shenbara. 1 copy of High Speedroid Hagoita. And 2 copies of Cork Shooter, which is a great level modifier. That's why it's in here. And then finally, 2 copies of your High Speed Rubber Band Shooter. You can play 1 if you want. I actually think 2 is the best because you end up using both the effects. End up using them like in tandem. You can end up using both of them in the same turn. So, all right, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Speedroids are just a lot of fun, and, yeah, they've been nerfed quite a bit, especially with Terra Top being limited to 1, but it really just, the deck in itself is just a lot of fun, and I've made it to where it's a Swarm deck at the same time as it being somewhat of a control-based deck with Goes in Match, and using cards like Effect Failure really does help kind of negate your opponent's monster effects for them doing anything too crazy, and I've seen some locals, people top locals get 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place and stuff with Speedroid still. Now, I don't know how it is nowadays because with the Bestial and the, Kashtira and everything, and she's a Tyraments, but before that, they were really good. So, all right, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, see you guys next time. Later.